When you're hiring a creator, I'm gonna say it's very important that you're not hiring for influence. So you don't want to reach out to like the influencers or creators with like 200,000 followers, a million followers. When you're starting to make content, you want to look for people who have validated their skills, but they're willing to collaborate with you, to experiment with you. Because also these people, they're building their own brands, they're going to be very expensive, and it's probably going to be less engaging for your audience. So what I would say when you're getting started is like try to find a creator on your niche that validated their audience, that they are between like 10,000 followers or 50,000 followers, something like that, in the platform you want to grow. This gives them the validation that they know how to make content that is interesting to people. And so you can partner with them. You don't need to hire them because you don't know if this is going to work. You can offer them a contract for like 2-3 months and see how that goes. Don't also give them just one piece, because that's the other thing. We talked, it's about volume. So bring them in, collaborate with them, see how that goes, and don't put too much pressure on it. Let them do their thing and then reevaluate after 3 months. A lot of creators are going to be very excited about this, especially at this size, because they want to collaborate with audiences. They're going to work their ass to like make it work. And I think it can be a very highly beneficial collaboration where both parts can learn a lot. So hire a creator. I prefer to call them creators, because the reason why you're hiring them is not for the influence. Again, you're going to create content. Probably it's going to live in your brand. So you're hiring them to create the content for you. So instead of like, let's say, hiring a designer, you hire a creator. I actually think this is one way where a lot of companies are going to go moving forward, where they're going to hire creators instead of, designers or writers or something like that, because it's just a skill that's necessary. And if you actually want to move in this direction, there's a lot of ways in which you can grow your creative team. And by default, you will, like what I've been doing for many years, like hire a creator, hire the writer, start building this team and outsource film. I'm starting to believe that there's a different way. I'm not saying that in every case, but in some cases, I think there's an interesting way to do it the other way around, where you can bring a creator that knows a little bit of everything, and that will allow you to actually implement those things, and then you can bring more people if the thing grows. So what would you recommend people to do in terms of like who to work with or how to get started?
Okay, I want to second what you had said about when you're working with a creator, give them some money, don't make it too serious, and let them do their thing. I find that from small brand collaborations to really big ones, they think they know how to tell the creator what to do, and they get into this micromanagement thing. They want scripts, they want storyboards, and then you're killing the entire creative process. And I find that certain brands who allow me to do whatever it is that I want, they get the best from me. They just say, here, just do something. If it works, we'll do more with you, and we'll just keep doing it. So just try whatever you want. We don't need to approve anything, just don't say anything bad, and then we're good. And this is a lot of trust, and trust goes two ways. You trust them to create something, they trust you to build a relationship with them, and it's a really nice thing. So when you find a creator, make sure you dig into their past a little bit to make sure their values are aligned so that they don't do something crazy. So for example, if you're worried about like bad language, you just watch their content. If they use a lot of bad language, that's probably not a good person that you're going to partner up with, because you don't want to utilize their charisma, their personality, and then say, well, we want to cut this part out. We want to excise this part. And that's a horrible way to work. So find somebody you like, someone who you trust, and let them play, and you'll get a way better return on investment.
I love it. And yeah, I think you put it in a great way. People need to be trusted in what they do, because that's the reason why you're collaborating with them, because they know how to do something that you do not. And sometimes, especially when we're talking about this type of advertisement, a lot of it is unlearning the things we've learned for so many years, and they're doing it. So just like let them do it and don't expect anything, because these things take a little time for them like to test and experiment. So I want to give you one last thing that I've seen as a pain point for many people, which is, okay, how do I get buy-in? Because if we have this problem with measurement, we have this attribution problem, like how am I going to show up, next Monday and tell my boss, yeah, give me like $3,000 a month to like collaborate with a creator? Like that's a lot of money, right? So I want to give you a sentence that's worked well for me. Hey, Susanna, I've been thinking about organic content and looking at what these creators are doing. I know we're spending X amount of money a month. Would you be willing to experiment with 5% of that money or 10% of that money during just a little amount of time, 2-3 months with a creator, and see how that goes to see if we get some results that we can consider? And so I have here for you a template, and you just need to fill the gaps. It's very simple. And I've used this before and it has worked every single time. And I'm going to tell you why. So, hey, Chris,
Yes.
would you be willing to experiment with 10% of that budget? Which honestly, if it's $10,000 a month that they are spending on ads, which is not a crazy amount for a lot of companies, that's like $1,000 a month that you have to experiment. And test working with a creator for, let's say, 3 months. The reason why this sentence is so powerful is because would you be willing to put them in a situation where it's really hard for them to say no? I learned working with Typeform and with the science communication professor that the word willing is a magical word, because no one will say no to be willing to do something, especially if it's experimenting. Because now if they say no, they're like not innovators and whatnot. Like 10% also is not a big amount, or 5% is not a big amount, because you're comparing to what they're already spending. And if you give them the numbers, this is something that can actually change things. Now, those 2-3 months, you're gonna have to work a lot and try to get some numbers, but you have like that runway, which you're not now trying to like make one piece work or 2 pieces work. Like you have a relationship with the creator that will allow them to try and do something special.